Okay,
So
yes.
everybody knows we've been doing this 32 and 32. Jay, I'm gonna fill you in on this. I don't think you've been here.
I haven't.
So the production crew came up with the idea to list the most 32 important players for the Cleveland Browns in the 32 shows ahead of the first game of the season.
Were these ranked in order? 32
yeah,
to 1?
32 to 1.
Wow.
And it was a way for us to honor Jim Brown at the same time. So today we have a short conversation on number 28 on this list, Rodney Mcleod. Rodney Mcleod is a guy who's played with Jim Shorts before. Not a guy that you expect to have the biggest impact on the football field, but what does a guy like that provide to this entire team?
Well, he's in the upper half, which is definitely where you want to be. I don't know how accurate that's going to be. I don't know. What are your expectations, Jay?
Veteran in the back end, help keep guys aligned. I don't know. I think there's some guys in front of him, obviously, in terms of the depth chart. Delpit and Thornhill are going to be playing a lot more.
Sure.
But just that veteran voice in the background, really more than anything, he's one of those guys that to me is more helpful Monday through Saturday necessarily than maybe he will be on Sunday.
Yeah.
There's at one point in time, somebody behind him is going to get hurt. Delpit will get hurt.
Yeah.
Juan Thornhill will get hurt. They'll need to move some people around and shift some stuff up and shake it up a little bit. And I like the fact that you're a veteran. I like to put veterans in there because when you're a veteran, I expect you to not have a drop-off mentally. Now, you may physically not be able to get to where Juan Thornhill is or maybe Grant Delpit, but when it comes to getting lined up, it comes to knowing your assignment, and it comes to making the routine play, that's why I like veterans, because they can make them now. Yeah. You might have a higher upside for a rookie or a younger guy because they athletically can get you somewhere. But, you got busted coverages and 3rd and 7. They don't play the sticks right. That's why I like to have guys like Rodney Mcleod back there. And that's why I like to have veterans in general, because they know what to do. And so if somebody gets hurt, you don't have that huge drop-off or big plays happening because you're not locked in and not knowing what you're doing.
I always call guys like this like assistant teachers.
Yeah.
You know how when you would go to class, sometimes the teacher would have a student from a college who had to do their assisted teaching, learning, whatever, and they were there, and you respected them. They weren't running the show, but they were there to help sort of keep everybody in the middle. And when the Bucs won their Super Bowl, before the season, they brought in Lomas Brown. And a lot of folks were like, Lomas Brown? Why? Why Lomas Brown? They had Kenyatta Walker on the team that they had drafted who was young, and they didn't need much help at that position, but it was really for what Jason just said. It was more for Monday through Saturday.
Yep.
It was how to be a professional 101.
Man.
Because there were some issues with some players in that group on how to be a professional. And Lomas came in and with his presence, without stepping a cleat on the grass, just him being in the locker room, he was a force.
That was so crazy you mentioned that. I did the emceeing at the National High School Hall of Fame ceremony last night. Lomas Brown was an inductee. I talked to him.
Did you get to meet him?
Met Lomas Brown, talked to him for about 20 minutes.
You probably never came up that you worked with me.
Man, listen,
Lomas and I,
of course.
Okay, good.
Yeah, he knows. I said, I got to get
What did he say when you said my name?
He said, "Oh,
Sugar."
Man, he talked. I got the draw, man. And I didn't even know he was the play-by-play. He does with the
Lions.
For the Lions.
Yeah.
Because I told him as a broadcaster,
a great guy.
He's a great dude. I told him, we got to get you on the show, dog. Can we get you on
anytime?
The show? Yeah,
he's a lifelong friend of mine. Going back to that day.
Lomas is dope,
we
man.
had some good road trips at ESPN.
And to your point of the Lomas Brown role with Mcleod, he knows Jim Schwartz's system as well as anybody played for him.
And that's the thing, right? It's almost Belichick used to do this a lot. Guys will bring in someone from a system that was either run by one of their disciples or when they changed teams.
Yep.
We saw Willie McGinnis came here.
Yep.
With Eric Mangini, I believe. I think that lined
I think
up.
You're right. Yeah.
It's just one of those things where it's like, and the players kind of know, he's coach's eyes and ears.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing to have.
Mcleod could be very helpful for someone like Grant Delpit. I think.
Right.
In terms of responsibilities, where you're supposed to be.
It's
landmarks.
a coach on the roster, really.
Yes.
And he's probably not going to see a ton of playing time, but a guy like that is just like you said.
Udonis
his
has
impact
one
Monday
with
through
the
Saturday.
Heat. He's been there 20 years, never plays, but
Yeah.
he's integral to the franchise.
Yeah, absolutely. Earl, what do you got?